Hello and welcome to the Food for Thought podcast, where I talk about topics that everyone is scared to talk about and I relate them to a food to make it less scary. I'm your host, Faya, and today's episode is social media and pineapple. So obviously, social media is the thing that this podcast is on, but I have never liked social media, really. I mean, I always thought, I know everyone says this, but sometimes people lie. Social media is really very toxic and it can make you think a lot of things about yourself that aren't true. And, it spreads a lot of misinformation. There are filters, there's like editing, there's all sorts of things you can do to make yourself look different and appear different and your life appear different than you actually are. And that's something that everybody knows about. And pineapple is a fruit that eats you from the inside out, literally. If you've ever eaten pineapple, then you know that when, you put it in your mouth and you start chewing, it feels like tangy and like sour and like your throat is burning a little. That's because the pineapple is actually trying to eat you also. So, I don't know if you knew that. Fun fact of the day. I learned that like a year ago, I think. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then when I was coming up with ideas for this podcast, I was like, that's kind of like social media because whether you realize it or not, it's having an effect on you. Social media and pineapple. Social media is obviously, a lot worse than, being eaten by pineapple because as soon as you swallow the pineapple, it doesn't like keep doing that. But for a second, it's pretty, kind of scary when you think about it. Just like social media is. Social media is terrifying. And it's common to compare yourself to people you see online. And, it's a bad thing to do because nothing is real. Nothing is real online. People could be lying, people could be, faking things, and you would never know. You would never know because they wouldn't let you see. And you only see what they let you see, which is why like so many people get misled and misinformed because the influencers and people on social media are only like letting in on like a small portion of their life. They don't have a full beat glam on every day. They don't have the best outfits on every day. And, maybe the one place in their apartment up in the sky they're filming is clean, but out of frame, there could be like tons of boxes and like trash on the ground. And that is normal. That is normal. And social media, like, makes everyone think that it's weird and uncommon, but it's not. It's more normal than being perfect, which no one is. And social media is setting impossible standards for people to live up to. And it's, it's really degrading to people to see people your age who are doing so much better than you and how they're like being, you know, rich, lavish like people and going on big vacations and big shopping sprees and getting the latest stuff from Coach and Dior and you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, why can't I do that? But it's not normal. The amount of fame and money that those people have is not normal. It's not something that the average human has. And there are a good handful. There are a bunch of, influencers who keep it real, who make it um their model, their branding to, help people and like disassociate perfectness from people. And I think that's what we need more of. I've seen a lot of great people who are trying to do that. And unfortunately, there are even more people who aren't doing that. And since there's more of them, they're more likely to come up on your For You page or be recommended as someone you watch. And you're going to see them more often. So you watch them more often. And then you see a girl who's exactly your age, maybe even younger. And she's up in her New York penthouse and she's doing a $300 Target haul. I have been a victim of those myself. And, you know, I mean, they don't necessarily have bad intent. Most influencers' intention isn't to make you feel bad about yourself. Um, and so it's kind of hard to be mad at the influencers themselves because you know they're not like trying to make you feel less than, but you are. And just because it's not necessarily their fault doesn't mean that they don't get any of the blame. Because if they got no one to blame, you have to blame someone for everything. And even if they, they weren't like saying to your face, like, you're not as rich as you should be and you're not where you should be in life, they should, I mean, they're still making you think that. And it's okay to be mad at them. What it's not okay to do is, go and hate on them. Because they do read the comments and they're humans too. And if they see, someone pointing out their biggest insecurity and, they tried to cover it up as best as they could with the magic of the camera, they're going to be hurt too. They're going to be just as hurt as you when you realize that you aren't as rich as them. And, tearing other people down to make you feel better about yourself is never the best way to go through life. And I don't think a lot of people really think about that when they're online doom scrolling for 17 hours. And, but all the things you see, they make you, feel a way about the way you're living. And they make you wonder, if I could be doing better, what could I be doing better, and how could I be doing better? But really, the thing is, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. If you are meant to be somewhere else, you'll be somewhere else. If you're meant to, be the world's youngest billionaire, then you'll be the world's youngest billionaire. If you're not meant to, then you won't. Friendly reminder that there is only one world's youngest billionaire. It's not common. It's not like a common thing. And they probably just got it from their parents, their celebrity parents. I'm pretty sure Stormy Webster is the richest kid. Or maybe it's some, like, person in the royal line of England. Think about that. The richest person is somebody in the royal family, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's Elon Musk. Those people have billions, billions of dollars. That's not normal. And, just because they're doing better than you doesn't mean that you're doing awful. Don't make good the enemy of perfect. I've heard that my whole life, and I think it's true. I don't think just because, you're not doing as great as somebody else that you're doing bad. And just because you haven't been named, smartest person in the world or most beautiful or most talented doesn't mean that you're useless or stupid or ugly. I mean, it just means there's someone else better out there, and there's always going to be. There's these kind of like invisible awards that we try to win for ourselves, and they don't exist. I mean, like, you try to win like the best outfits at school or like the longest hair or like held the door open for people the most times. Those aren't real awards. And yeah, they may make us feel better about ourselves, but at the end of the day, our value doesn't stem from, what we look like or what other people think of us or, what you do for other people. I mean, it kind of does. It does relate more to that than anything else. Because your value as a person isn't defined by wealth or looks, it's defined by like who you are. And, you know, people online, as beautiful as they may be, they aren't, perfect. And they could be lying straight to your face. Maybe they were somebody's middle school bully. Think about that. Think about your favorite influencer, your favorite beauty guru, your favorite YouTuber, and think about if they were somebody's middle school bully. Not saying that they are, but they could be. And that's like the scary part of social media because you don't know. Because you don't know what's real and what's not. And, they could be behind some evil, giant company that is going to, explode the world in 40 years, or they could be a normal human who is just pretending to be perfect to get views. And, just because somebody's pretending to be perfect doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them want to fit in with everybody else, which everybody wants to do, whether they say they do or don't. Especially in high school and middle school and elementary school too, and even in college and out of college too, with your work colleagues. I mean, it's different for everybody. Some people really don't care. I know people who just don't care about what other people think of them and about online and social media and stuff. And their entire For You page is just like soccer highlights of 2011. And you know what? That is great for you. I think the world needs more people like that. But just because, somebody else really looks up to those influencers and wants to be like them doesn't make them, any stupider. I don't think that's a word. I just sounded stupid there. Doesn't make them any more stupid. And just because they want to look like those people doesn't make them like more gullible or easily influenced. It just makes them like everybody else. And you can act like you don't want, the best blowout or a $800 Sephora haul, but you can want that, and that's okay. You can want to have stuff you don't have. That's like exactly how the human race like exists and moves forward, by making and doing things that we want that we don't already have. And you can do that too. I mean, that's a normal human thing that I think a lot of people don't really think about. I mean, I know that people try to act like social media doesn't mean anything and they can stop scrolling whenever they want to, but you can't. People are addicted to their phones, and I am not a phone hater. I am not one of those people who's going to say, yep, throw your phone out into the pool and go for a 87-mile walk, because you don't need to. I mean, I like to just think that you can still like your phone, but not like it enough to be on it every second of the day. I think a little doom scrolling at the end of the day is perfectly fine as long as you make time for other stuff too. And I noticed recently I was, laying in bed, doom scrolling for a couple hours, and then I saw a video about like art, and I realized that I, used to love art and I haven't done it in a while, and I put down my phone, I sat there and I stared at my dark ceiling, and I thought, wow, I used to love painting and drawing, and now I sit here for 5 hours a night scrolling. What am I doing? What am I doing? Wake up. I need to wake up. Wake up. Wake up! And nobody wants to wake up. And, waking up doesn't have to be in like an epiphany moment and like a one day thing where you just like burn your phone at the stake and get rid of it forever. But, try to like, maybe don't go on it for the first hour of your morning, or take a break once your eyes literally start to burn because you've been staring at a screen for so long. And it's okay to admit that you are addicted to your phone, because most people are. And I admire the people who can just delete like Instagram or TikTok or Twitter off their phone and go about their day, but a lot of people can't do that. And if you are one of those people who can do that easily, and you give people who can't a hard time for not being able to, I don't think you're a good person. I mean, I don't think you're a bad person just for that one thing, but if you're the kind of person that does that, then that tells me a lot about you and other stuff that you might do to bring people down. Sorry, just because think, just because you deleted Instagram doesn't mean that somebody else who didn't is worse than you. Doesn't mean that you like hate your phone, and because nobody hates their phone. Nobody hates their phone, and as much as you try to convince yourself that you do, you probably don't. And that's okay. I mean, I think that's normal. I think my main goal with this podcast is to make people feel like they're seen and like they're normal, and that everything that society is telling you is box minded, small minded. It's not right, and everyone works differently. Everyone sees the world differently, and it's because of influence of social media and other stuff too. But it's not always about like social media and hating your phone. Sometimes it's just about realizing that, you don't need to spend 10 hours a day on your phone. And yeah, you can set screen limits for your kids. That's just going to make them sneakier. And you can, take away their iPads, but you're the one who gave them to them in the first place. And that's part of the reason why they want them so much. It's because you give them to them whenever they want. And you can shut off your phone at night and put it on Do Not Disturb and delete Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and Snapchat and Facebook, and you can delete everything. You can throw your phone into an abyss. That does not make you better than anyone else out there. Just because you don't struggle with the same things as someone else does not make you a better person. Just because you don't want to download Snapchat because, you know, you don't need it, that doesn't make someone with Snapchat less than you. And that doesn't make you that doesn't make you a better person. That doesn't make you better. That doesn't make you all high and mighty above them, because you're not above them. You are a human. You are a child. You're a kid. You're a person, just as the other people are. You need to stop putting other people down in order to lift yourself up. Because saying, I would never download Instagram and care so much about followers, that doesn't make people want to be your friend. That doesn't make people want to be around you. That makes people, feel bad about themselves. And since you were the person who made them feel bad about themselves, they don't stick around you. And being addicted to your phone obviously isn't ideal and the best, but it doesn't make you a bad person. I mean, phones are literally designed to get you addicted. You're just normal, and that's okay. And just because, something doesn't work out on social media for you, or you see somebody with your dream brand collab or your dream car or your dream house, it doesn't mean that it just means that they found a different way of getting to where they wanted to be. And they're all different ways to find success. Some are online, some are not online. Some people, can have massive success and have no face on social media. And some people can have a massive following and, they can hate themselves. Somebody may have 10 million followers and then they go to sleep at night and they cry because they don't like who they are as a person. And somebody who has 5 followers might go and meet up with their friends later and they're happy that they have the friends that they have and they like themselves. And in a world of, oh, I hate myself and I hate who I am, it is unpopular to be someone who likes themselves. But you have to learn to love yourself. And it's hard with, everyone comparing yourself to everyone you see on social media, because people on social media aren't real. They're fake. And they put on faces. And, once in a while they might film a video that's like, hey guys, I've really been struggling and, a lot behind the camera. That's exactly it. Behind the camera. Because they don't let you see everything in their life. They only let you see a small portion that is set up in between 2 lenses. And that's the part that they try to make perfect. Nobody's life is perfect. Especially not people on social medias, because they're constantly getting hate comments and they're constantly getting blocked and talked about, and it's not easier for them to feel good about themselves just because, they have like a big pool. They might hate themselves just as much as you, even with all this stuff, because Money doesn't buy happiness. Money does not buy happiness. Being a social media superstar will not make you love yourself. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to hear. And don't believe everything you see online. And I know everyone says that all the time, but really it's true. You're going to live the rest of your life unhappy if you compare yourself to people you see online. Thank you for joining me today. This was Social Media and Pineapple. I am your host, Faya, and I'm out.